Hello and welcome you to this small PLCnext technology seminar. My name is Daniel Buschatzky. I am the product owner of our digital marketplace, the PLCnext Store. In addition to Phoenix Contact, in our store, other companies from a wide range of industries also offers professional automation software for the PLCnext controllers. This constantly growing range of apps opens up a multitude of possible applications for our controllers. In this seminar, I would like to present interesting apps for our store in detail in order to arouse your interest in this offered apps. I will make this presentation together with the developers to provide you with first-hand informations. And now we will have a look at the app Easymon, which was developed by the company Intech. So we will demonstrate the installation from the app, from the store, and then we carry out the commissioning of the app. After that, we will take a more detailed look into the function and areas of application of this app. And as already announced, I have invited the two developers of the company Intech for the seminar. This is Christian Scheer and Thomas Sorg. Nice to have you here, guys. And before we start with the presentation, I would like to mention that the company Intech has already developed smartphone apps for Phoenix Contact. For example, there is the app Mini Analog Pro. With this app, the user is able to configure the Phoenix Contact isolation amplifiers via smartphone. And I think from this experience with Phoenix Contact products, the development and of course publishing an app is a very obvious step to transform the knowledge to the entire user community. So, and now I hand over to Thomas and Christian. Please tell us something about your company and introduce us to the PLCnext app Easymon.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Sorg. I work for the business unit machinery in the company Intech, and I'm the product owner for Easymon. But before we show you the Easymon app, I would like to give you a brief introduction to the company Intech, in case you don't know us. Intech is a solution provider in the field of digitalization for the automotive market, for smart mobility, and the industry market. We develop solutions in projects as well as own products. Our core is automotive electronics. Here we are the development partner for software in electronics and cover the entire product development cycle in the automotive industry. Our main focus is security, quality management, and tooling. In the area of smart mobility, we offer solutions such as conversion kits for diesel buses into electric vehicles, communication modules for charging infrastructure, and also model-based systems engineering. The Smart Factory division supports customers from the mechanical and plant engineering sector to digitalize their products and their production plants. Intech was founded in 2002 and currently has approximately 1,500 employees in over 20 locations in 8 countries. Around 1,000 of the people are located in Germany. The business unit Machinery and Smart Factory offers software-based solutions for controlling and monitoring devices, machines, and systems. We have a team of usability engineers, software engineers, and software developers, and offer technology consulting, software development, software testing, and integration. This ranges from embedded platforms to cloud and web apps, such as the apps Daniel just mentioned we have developed for Phoenix Contact. With the PLCnext technology, Phoenix provides an excellent platform for us to develop and deploy solutions and products. On the one hand, the PLCnext technology is an open platform and thus very well suited for our solutions. The PLCnext Store is an easy-to-use deployment platform, and the PLCnext community, as well as the Phoenix Contact development team, helps through technical support during the product development. Now to Easymon. The main goal of Easymon is to make remote monitoring on smartphones as easy as using any consumer app. Easymon is available as a ready-to-use plug-and-play solution in the PLCnext Store. Christian is now showing how Easymon is installed on your PLCnext device.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. I'll share my screen real quick. So yeah, as you already mentioned, installing Easymon on the PLCnext is just as easy as installing a smartphone app. So you head over to your app store and look for and search for the app that you are actually looking for, which in our case is Easymon. As you can see, we have Easymon available for 2 platforms of the PLCnext. We'll choose the 2152 for this particular demo right now. So we can briefly check what this is all about, but basically we're going to install it on one of our PLCnext devices that we own, and choose the automatic install, which is pretty much straightforward and allows us to just check out the progress bar as it proceeds. Now, as you might already know, installing the app on the PLC requires a reboot of the controller, and we're going to use that time frame for some more introduction into our app. And I'll head back to Thomas.
Thank you, Christian. Just go back to my presentation. Okay, as already mentioned, the core aspect of Easymon is easy. This means easy to set up and easy to use. The idea is that there should be no programming or complex configuration for the user, no additional accounts like cloud accounts, and a simple pricing model with a test before invest approach, as known from any apps in the consumer world. With Easymon, live data, which means variable values of a control program, can be monitored on the smartphone. Easymon is cloud-based, so the values are available remotely, for example, to monitor systems that are in locations which are difficult to access. Thresholds can be defined and notifications are sent if the thresholds are exceeded. So deviations can be recognized quickly, errors can be avoided, and thus the availability of the machines can be increased. Easymon consists of 3 parts. The PLCnext function extension, which you've already seen, reads the values of the variables from the controller and provides a configuration interface. The cloud service is hosted on Microsoft Azure servers within the European Union and is part of the product. This means no additional cloud accounts are required for the user, and you also don't need to configure things such as an IoT hub. The smartphone app is available in the Apple Store and on Google Play. With the configuration interface, you can select variables to be monitored. You can set how they are displayed on the smartphone, things like name, unit, scaling, and so on. and you can define the thresholds and determine what is displayed when they are exceeded and whether push notifications should be sent or not. The smartphone app displays the live values when the app is open, and it also notifies if the thresholds are exceeded. The link between the app and the controller is made simply via a QR code. After scanning the QR code, the values are immediately available in the app. The link is also an end-to-end relationship, which means several controllers can be monitored at different locations with one app, and also any number of apps can also monitor one controller. This is especially useful if several employees, for example, are responsible for one machine or one system. The price of Easymon is a monthly subscription and depends on how many controls are monitored and how much communication takes place between the controller and the app. For each PLCnext controller, a 1 month free trial is automatically included after download, for which you do not have to register. Similar to subscriptions known from things like big streaming platforms, we do not have a minimum contract duration, which means that the price model is very simple and flexible for our customers. So hopefully our PLCnext has now rebooted. If yes, then Christian will show you how easy Easymon works and how quickly variables are available on the phone.
Yeah, let's check this out. If I look in the list of my devices on the PLCnext Store, that looks pretty promising. It says it is online again, and the function extension is installed. Now, in order to actually access and find the configurator for this particular instance, we developed a smart tool which is called find.easymon.io, and this one already shows us the PLCnext that I've just installed the function extension to with the internal IP address. And I can use this one to access it. So any communication between my browser and the PLCnext now just happens inside my own local network. So this is not yet published to the cloud, but I can decide and check out which variables I actually want to be published to the cloud in this configuration. But in general, so it says here already that I do have my trial subscription started today. Within this trial subscription, I have 10,000 messages that I can, or 10,000 updated values that I can send to the cloud backend and to my app per day. And I can use this to then configure my variables and to actually choose how often I might want to update a particular data point that I have in my PLCnext project. So these items here, my data points in here, come from my PLCnext project, where these are configured. In this particular case, I installed a demo project that we also provide in our PLCnext Store listing that is independent of any external connectivity of the controller, so it doesn't require any sensors, but yeah, randomly generates a temperature value, for example, or its state value and Boolean values, just to give you a way to test and try out Easymon, even without maybe an already particular use case in mind. So, as Thomas mentioned in the introduction, the connection between my PLCnext instance and the Easymon app on my smartphone is done via QR code, and this QR code is shown on the configurator here. And I'll give Thomas the chance to now pull out his smartphone and actually scan this QR code, and
I've just scanned the QR code. It worked, and now the PLCnext controller is available for remote monitoring on my phone.
Can you switch to the other camera to show it? Perfect. So here we have the one PLCnext. It doesn't really have anything configured yet. The default is that it uses the serial number of the PLCnext as the device name. We could briefly change this, head over to the display, and it has instantly also reflected this change. So now for the temperature, or for the delta values that we might want to show on the Easymon app, let's start with something like a temperature. In this case, I know that we have something like degrees in Celsius here, and let's update these every 10 seconds, which already eats up quite a bit of my quota that I have in my trial subscription. And checking back in my app, I can see immediately that the value already appears here. I might want to improve the formatting of it a bit, so maybe I'm not really interested in all the decimal places. Maybe one is enough for me. I can set this up, and it's already automatically reflected. And I can also introduce thresholds, which provides me with an easy way to configure also the formatting of my display. So maybe I would want to show that every time the temperature is above, let's say, 80 degrees, it's just too hot. And I could introduce a color for that. Update the data point again and see what happens on my screen. Not much, actually, because, well, my temperature is still below 80 degrees right now. So let's introduce another of these thresholds, which is going to apply below 80 degrees. Maybe add a blue color here, update it. And we immediately see that this is actually reflected and matches the current configuration of my data point. So it gets indicated as too cold. And it also shows up as an indication that we have a threshold here in the overview of my controller in the Easymon app. I could also as well add other data points here. For example, there's this Boolean, which is maybe just on, so some on-off switch. If it's true, it's on. The other way is off. I can add this. And this also shows up, and the current version is, the current value shows it's on. And well, yeah, actually that's pretty much all that's going to be presented or shown here, and hopefully gives a good insight and overview of Easymon and how easy it is to be able to monitor particular values of your controller on your smartphone.
Okay, thank you. Let me summarize all the actions only for my own understanding. The first action is I go to the PLCnext Store. I add my PLCnext Control to my store account. I install the Easymon app over the store directly on the target. And then I take my own project or your offered example PLCnext Engineer project, and I download the project down to the PLCnext Control. And then I take my smartphone. I go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store. I install the Easymon app. And then I connect with the QR code on the web interface my PLCnext Control with a smartphone. Is this everything?
That's pretty much everything, except maybe you need to configure those data points that you would want to be displayed on your Easymon app. But besides that, it's easy as that. And also this configuration, of course, only needs to take place once, independent of how many apps and how many smartphones you actually connect to your PLCnext controller.
One application that comes spontaneously into my mind is in the area of machine maintenance in the manufacturing industry. For example, a general machine stop or a supply interruption can be easily communicated to the entire maintenance team on their smartphones, right?
Yeah, that's basically the whole idea of Easymon, to immediately see how well the machine is and to react to deviations. So if the machine stops, you get informed and you can go to the machine, look what the problem is, react, and so on. And you also can do things like preventive maintenance, which means you can define thresholds. For example, if you monitor the temperature of the machine or the power consumption of the machine, and if one of these values tend to deviate, you can react before it's too late. But we also thought about other use cases. Before we started to implement Easymon, we talked to users of PLCnext devices on how they are used and like for what machines they're used for. One other possibility could be in the area of water treatment. So if you have a water treatment facility, which perhaps is located in a remote area, you can use Easymon to monitor the state of the facility, to monitor filling levels, for example. And if the level drops or is too high, you get informed and you can react immediately. Another use case could be, let's say you own a medium-sized plastics processing company with plants in different locations, even in different countries. Easymon could help you to get an easy overview on the overall situation of your production. So with one look at the smartphone, you know how the machines work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, once more, thank you for the demonstration and thank you for explaining us the use cases. And I think there are a lot of more use cases outside and different use cases. Very interesting. And I think this app is a great example of how the store and can used by partners to publish software functions for the PLCnext controller. And I hope we have aroused your interest in this app and other apps. And thank you very much for your time. And if you want, we see us at the next app presentation. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.